Hey guys, good morning. Welcome. My name is Lizabeth. I am your instructor. You are in a Pilates inspired fitness class. We'll get a full body workout in today. We'll move in every plane of motion. We'll get some stretching and some balance work, all the good stuff. So for props today, let's use dumbbells. So grab a set of dumbbells. I recommend light dumbbells. I use 2 pounds. By the way, if you don't have dumbbells, that's okay. You can use cans of food, little water bottles, or you can even use nothing at all. So you can go through this entire sequence without any props. All right, guys, from here, we'll start on all 10 tippy toes, lower one heel, bend an elbow, all 10 tippy toes, and switch and switch and switch. So this is a super simple move. It will begin to warm up your body. And I'd like to take this opportunity to request of you to keep your workout with me today pain-free. As always, comfortably uncomfortable is all right, but pain is not. So please take care of your sweet bodies. And at any time, if you are feeling stabbing pain, shooting pain, joint pain, structural pain, anything like that, just stop what you're doing, do something different so those feelings go away. The cost-benefit analysis of working through the pain does not pay off. We do not want to injure ourselves as we're improving our health. Okay, for 3 and 2 and 1, come to center. Swing those arms from side to side. Yeah, notice how that feels. We will revisit this move many times in class today. And I want you to begin to notice if it feels different. For 2 and 1, and come to center. All right, guys, let's pivot those palms so they are facing in, and then let's come into a biceps curl. Kick your left toes forward, come to center, and then open to a T, kicking that left leg to the side, come to center, and then reach those arms back, kicking that left foot back, and come to center. We'll do it again, coming into a biceps curl, out to a T, and back. And continue just like that. I'm going to enter another student here. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a balance challenge going on. In just a moment, we will add to this, but at any time, if you wish, you can continue with this version. All right, so as we're going through this range of motion, if you'd like to add to it, let's begin to hover that foot above the ground the whole time. And breathe. Hovering what? Hovering that left foot, coming into a balance challenge. Hey, cutie, good to see you. Glad that you made it this morning. All right, and breathe. For props today, we're just using dumbbells. Woo! Yeah, starting to feel this quite a bit. By the way, guys, you continue. For safety reasons, I just want to point out that when we open our arms, we only want to open to a T shape. If we're coming up into a Y shape, that's not so great for the shoulders. So just keep that in mind. And we'll do one more set here. And come to center. Nice job. Swing those arms from side to side. And notice how one leg is feeling slightly fatigued from that movement and the muscular contractions, whereas the other leg is feeling slightly fatigued from that isometric contraction, which balanced us. Okay, good. Speaking of balance, let's balance that out. So shifting the weight over to the other foot, we'll just come into a simple biceps curl, tap those toes forward and side and back. And do it again, and continue, and breathe. Looking good. Yeah, so this is pretty simple, just moving in multiple planes of motion, still warming up the body, getting some synovial fluid in our joints. All right, and then at any time, you can begin to hover that foot above the mat. Whoop. Yep, adding back in that balance challenge. Whoa, you guys are making this look pretty easy. I feel a little sketchy this morning, and it's like that sometimes. Just some days are more easier than others. Whoa, and you are breathing. In just a moment, we'll add to this even more, making it more challenging. But for now, Just notice how this feels. Again, notice which leg you're feeling more. Both legs are working, although they have different jobs. Looking good. We'll go for 2 more just like this. 2 more sets. Woo, and 1 more. And come to center. Swing those arms from side to side. Oh, for 2 and 1. Come back to center. All right, guys. Adding on, optional. You're always welcome to continue with an earlier version. But if you wish, let's bring that left knee into tabletop. Come into that biceps curl. Okay, here's the trick. Keep that leg bent in a 90-degree angle and continue going through this range of motion. So keeping that leg bent in that 90-degree angle, you should feel your muscles working more in the leg that is moving through space. Maybe you're also feeling your standing leg muscles work harder. Well, because perhaps it's a little more challenging to balance with your opposite leg bent in that 90-degree angle. Whoa, and breathing. Yeah, plus those arms might be beginning to become a little fatigued. So perhaps your dumbbells even feel heavier. Woo. Looking good. Breathing. Notice if the knee that is bent in that 90-degree angle, well, if that is becoming a greater than 90-degree angle. And if so, see if you can recommit to just that 90-degree angle. And 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Come back to center. All right. And again, notice how your legs feel. Let's swing those arms from side to side. Actually, feels really good. I love the feeling of working out, guys. I went through a long period where I didn't do it, and I definitely missed it. Okay, come back to center. All right, as you can imagine, we'll do that on the other side. So we'll start with that right knee in tabletop. Bend those elbows into a biceps curl. Come to center, out to the side, come to center, and back. And do it again. And notice how much more you're feeling this in the leg area. Woo! And particularly that back body area as you bring those arms back and that leg up. Really giving that, back booty cheek a good squeeze. Looking beautiful. Again, practicing that balance. Oh man, you guys, that balance is so important. As you know, because I share with you frequently, the number one reason why women lose our independence as we age is we fall and break a hip and don't recover. Whew, I had the unfortunate opportunity to witness that right in front of me. And it was really scary. And she was, in fact, went into a nursing home and will stay there for the rest of her lifespan. So yeah, I mean, not to be all dark and negative, but just to show you how important this work is. For 2 and 1, and come to center. Swing those arms from side to side. For 2 and 1. Nice job. Okay, take a big step apart with those feet. Toes are slightly externally rotated. Reach those arms out to a T, but soften the elbows. So those elbows are a little soft and those palms are facing each other. All right, so already you should feel work in that shoulder area. By the way, if this is uncomfortable, just bring those dumbbells closer to your body. All right, and then we'll bend, hug a tree, open, bend, and open, and continue. Yeah, looking so good. Of course, in just a moment, we're going to add to this. Of course, if you wish, you can continue with this earlier version of the exercise. But if you want more, the next time you're down, stay down. Lift one heel, lift the other heel. Static hold in the legs, arms open and close, open and close, maybe keeping those heels lifted as you open, you, whoa, like to straighten those legs and bend and do it again, keeping those heels super high off the ground if that is safe for you. Woo! Noticing how you're feeling those ankles perhaps quivering a bit. You're building the mobility and stability at the same time, which is kind of cool because usually you're building one or the other, but our muscles are quivering around to create that stability so we can stay in this position, but also they're quivering around, creating a little bit of mobility such that if we feel like we're going to fall, our ankles will be able to move underneath us to recenter our balance. For 2, woo, and 1, and rest the arms, lower the heels. Swing those arms from side to side. For 2, and 1, come back to center. All right, we're going to do some work for that inner thigh area, focusing on balance, and come into some more back body, as in the back exercises. So bend the knees, lift a heel, lift the other heel. Can you lift those heels higher? Drag queen stilettos. Arms are straight, dumbbells back behind the booty area. Lift, lift, lift. Once you squeeze those shoulder blades together, bringing those straight arms super far away from the body. If that feels all right for you, notice how you're beginning to feel a little bit of warmth in that triceps area. Hello, Catherine. You're welcome. So one of my students was sharing with me before class that her triceps felt sore after our last class. So you're probably really feeling this. All right, maybe notice that those heels are lowering in space. If so, recommit to those super high drag queen stilettos and breathe. Yep, so just super long set here, squeezing those shoulder blades together, lifting those heels even higher and breathing. I know, I'm feeling it too. It's on purpose. I really want to target the back here, guys. So there's a lot of muscles that are active, but focus on those back muscles and see if you can make those back muscles feel the brunt of this. Again, where are those drag queen stilettos? If you're losing them, find them. Woo! For 3 and 2. Yeah, I know. I see those faces. I feel it too. And 1. Woo! Yeah. Swing those arms from side to side. For 3 and 2 and 1, and come to center. All right. Next, we'll just reach those arms back behind again, back behind the booty cheeks. We're going to blast out those inner thighs, bend those knees again, lift one heel, lift the other heel. We'll just use the dumbbells as an added resistance. So we'll just keep our arms still, but they're still functioning in a job, giving us more body weight with which we will lift and lower. Tiny range of motion. And you are breathing. I see a puppy on the screen. That always makes me happy. Again, where are those drag queen stilettos? If you're losing them, find them again. So while we're doing this, I will distract you a little bit and tell you that one of my favorite things to do is thrift. I also have enormous feet, like really big feet. So I think I was thrifting and found a drag queen who let go of all of his or her shoes. So I bought a bunch of drag queen stilettos, which actually fit my enormous feet. So that was kind of fun. All right, so imagining that I'm wearing them, really keeping those heels lifted. Yeah, so feeling those inner thighs quite a bit, feeling those quadriceps, feeling those calves, and balance. Woo, and breathe for 4 and 3, woo, 2 and 1. Oh my gosh, yeah, I feel it too. Let's walk those feet together and come into a march. And then let's come into alternating biceps curls. Yep, and breathe. All right, guys, we're going to come into a little cardio session next. So if you wish, you can continue with this. If you want a little bit more, you can reach those arms in the goalpost And then reach those arms overhead. Yeah, already my students are jogging and dancing and going up and down the stairs. So whatever feels good for you. The reason why I like to start with this sort of a movement is just to show you that it's not necessary to do a bouncy thing. Maybe a bouncy thing doesn't feel good for your joints, or maybe you have the wrong bra on and you logged on thinking, or thinking you just needed not a good support bra. All right. Anyways, you get the point. So maybe for whatever reason, you don't want to jog, but maybe you do. So you can jog, you can do burpees, which some of my students do. You can run the stairs, you can disco dance. Suddenly I'm the only one on my screen. Yep. All right. Or anything else. So really the goal, I mean, you can skip in place. Yeah, anything. So just the idea here, guys, is to move in such a manner that gets that heart rate up just a little bit. It doesn't have to be up a lot, although certainly if that's kind of your jam and that feels great, you're welcome to do that. But also for those of you who don't wish to do that, I just want to assure you that you're still getting tons of benefits. In fact, when our heart rate is lifted just a little bit, such that it would be difficult to whistle, we'll go for another little session if you want to run the stairs again. So when our heart rate is such that it's a little difficult to whistle, like happy birthday, for example, you're in that really terrific fat burning zone. So maybe you can whistle it, but it's a little challenging. So another way to say that is you can talk, but it's a little challenging to talk. So I'm kind of in that mode right now. You can probably hear it in my voice. All right, so moving our body in such a manner, guys, we're staving off depression, so that's awesome. And we're strengthening our bones, so that's awesome. As you guys know, as we age, osteoporosis becomes more of a concern for many women. And then when you combine that, loving those moves, when you combine that with poor balance and falls, that becomes even more of a tragic situation. All right, guys. Yeah, loving it. And we'll continue for just another moment here. Woo! And breathing. You can do like a cowboy thing. And breathe. Yeah, loving the jumping jacks. We've got boxing going on. We've got jogging going on. We've got running in and out of the camera going on. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing, but I'm just moving. All right, loving it. For 5 and 4. You guys are killing it. 3 and 2 and 1, and come to center. And notice how you can feel the blood pumping through your body. You can feel the oxygen coming in and out. Yeah, so all that feels pretty good. For 2 and 1, and come to center. All right, guys. Next, if you have dumbbells such that you can grab both in one hand, go ahead and do that. If you can't, that's okay. All right, and then let's grab both dumbbells in the left hand, or one, and then we'll bend the knees, reach the booty back behind. Take the right hand and put it onto your thigh. All right, so I want those knees behind the toes. That's important. Then let's take that left elbow, hike it up towards the ceiling. Navel is tucked to the spine. We have our hands on our thigh, but we're not just chilling out, holding ourselves steady. So it's just there to give us a little bit of recommitment to the idea that we want to flat back. All right, guys, elbows super high. Take an inhale, exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend, exhale, straighten. Notice if that elbow wants to sink down in space. If it does, try to keep it lifted. Challenging yourself in a safe manner. Yeah, coming into a triceps extension, or we used to call these triceps kickbacks in the gym. All right, maybe this is all you want. If you want a little bit more, take that left leg, kick it behind, toes down. Maybe that's all you want. Woo! If you want a little more, you can hover those left toes in space. Yeah. and breathe. Keeping that elbow high. And if you're really sore from our session on Monday, you can go through this range of motion without any resistance at all. And notice if that elbow wants to, whoa, sink. And if it does, again, try to prevent that. Whoa, oh my gosh, you guys are super solid. I'm all over the place. Maybe you have your toes down and I can't see it. For 3 and 2 and 1, come to center. Good. Notice how half your body feels really different than the other half. So we will balance that out. So same thing on the other side. We'll start by holding onto our dumbbells, hand on the left thigh, hike that elbow high in space, knees behind the toes, sticking that booty out, long flat spine, and then bend and straighten, and breathe. And then we'll move on to that more challenging option, a little quicker on this side. So maybe take those toes, step them back, and maybe, whoa, hover those toes in space. And again, notice if gravity is pulling that elbow down. I mean, it is pulling that elbow down. There's definitely a force making that happen. But notice if you're succumbing to that force. And if so, try to hike that elbow higher. Woo! Yeah, so we've got balance, strength training, feeling those muscles in the left leg in that static hold. Whoa, if you have that right leg lifted. Also lifting that right booty cheek, squeezing it. So there's a lot of muscles involved here. Whoa, and balance. Did I mention balance? For 4 and 3. Looking so good, guys. 2 and 1. Come to center. Woo, yeah, I'm feeling it too. All right, guys, arms at the sides, navel is tucked to the spine, palms facing in. Take an inhale, exhale, one knee in tabletop, arms to a T, and lower, and switch, and continue. Yep, breathing. Okay, maybe this is all you want. By the way, if this is not great for your shoulders, you can come more into a V position, still keeping those hands below the shoulders, or you can just come into a biceps curl. So again, listening to your body, or you can get rid of the dumbbells. So I'm gonna go with a V version. Okay, and optional, the next time you have your left knee in tabletop, pause. All right, and then let's straighten that leg, bend, straighten, bend. Trying to keep that knee lifted in space such that you are really feeling, woo, those quadriceps muscles in that left leg. Those are the thigh muscles. You've got 4 of them. Maybe you can feel them pop, 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 just popping away. By the way, our muscles pump up with blood as we work them. Hence the word pumped, pumped up. Woo, for 3 and 2 and 1. Come to center. I know, I see those faces. I'm feeling it too. For 2 and 1, and come back to center. All right, guys, this time we'll come into a different move for the arms. We'll pivot those palms forward, squeeze those armpits close, bring that right knee into tabletop, take an inhale. As you exhale, we'll lift those arms halfway up to a midsection and lower and do it again. So when I say midsection, that would be straight out in front. So we're just lifting a quarter of the way. So just a tiny amount. And balance. All right, and then we'll move into that more challenging version where we kick that leg straight, whoop, and do it again. Breathing. If it feels all right for your body, you can lift those arms so they're straight out in front of the shoulders, but please not higher than that. Notice if that knee is drooping in space, you're resisting the force of gravity. And by the way, if that's bothersome for your shoulders or any other joint, or perhaps you're fatigued, you're welcome to come into a simple biceps curl. Woo! And breathe. Did I mention, woo, feeling this quite a bit for 2 and 1, woo, and come to center. I know, I'm feeling it a lot too, guys. Good job. For 3 and 2 and 1. Yeah, notice how perhaps you feel like your legs literally are pumped. Okay, guys, arms and goalposts, navel tucked to the spine, arms overhead, and continue. you guessed it, coming into another little blast of moving the body more quickly. So the goal here is to get that heart rate up a little bit. Yep, so just taking that free movement and breathe. Yep, so it's actually colder in Southern California than it is in New Hampshire right now. So adding in a little bit of extra cardio to warm up my Southern California friends. You're welcome. Man, I wore my leggings, and then I wore lined sweatpants and my down jacket and my thigh-high boots to try to stay warm this morning. It was legit cold, upper 30s. Very unusual for us. All right, breathing. Loving it. You guys are so cute. Running forwards and backwards. Loving it, and breathe. Looking good. She's back from running the stairs. We'll go for another little session, so you're welcome to go and do that again if you wish. And they're gone. And breathe. Catherine, I see what you're doing. If you want a little added challenge as you're doing that, you could maybe close your eyes for a moment and just play with that sense of proprioception of knowing where your body is in space. I'm seeing Linda running around in circles. We've got Bev. Loving it. I just love training with you guys. It's so fun. And she's back from the stairs. We'll go just for about another 30 seconds or so. Woo! And loving what I'm seeing. Yep. We've got punches. We've got reaches. We've got the go-go's move. Yep. All right, guys, for 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Again, notice how you've got that blood flowing. You've got that oxygen moving through your body. Yeah, I love it. I think I've trained you guys to do Lady in a Park after a little session of something. For 2 and 1. Okay, we are going to take this down to the mat. So let's keep those dumbbells nearby. And we will come down to a seated position. Dumbbells nearby. All right, guys. Coming to a seated position, let's lower down onto the elbows. Okay, and then looking down over your legs, I want you to take your left foot, hover it in space, just a tiny amount. All right, then draw your kneecap up towards your hip. In other words, activate those thigh muscles in a static hold, and then begin to lower and lift. Now I want that foot moving slowly through space, and I also want a tiny range of motion. So I'm not interested in a huge range of motion. For this, less is more. So you should begin to feel those quadriceps again, pop, 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 waking up. I always think of superhero legs. You know how like superheroes, you can see all 4 of their quadriceps. Yeah, so you're getting your superhero legs right now. But I also want you to notice, so even though we're focusing on that left leg, which I'm feeling quite a bit, by the way, and you probably are too, notice if you're just chilling out with that upper body. And if so, let's find that really good posture. Space between the chin and chest, space between those ears and shoulders. Wow, really feeling those quadriceps a lot. Yeah, for 4, making it count, and 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. All right, notice how that leg feels fatigued in a good way. Okay, we'll do that on the other side. So hover that right foot just above the mat, looking down, finding that strong core. Take an inhale, exhale, lift. Actually, you don't need to breathe in unison with your movement, but do please make sure that you're breathing. Sometimes people get really hung up in the studio, particularly newer people to their Pilates practice of like, do I inhale here? Do I inhale there? When do I exhale? And yeah, so the goal is to breathe. That's the most important thing. And sometimes your instructors will say if you're doing a particular movement, do inhale and exhale on one point of the movement, and then another instructor will totally reverse that. So, and it's not necessarily that one is correct. They're just different. All right, guys, noticing how those quadriceps are feeling in that right leg. Again, going for those superhero legs with that nice muscular definition. For 3, woo, and 2, and 1. Lower down. Nice job. Okay, next, guys, let's bring those heels together. Let those toes flop open, just in a relaxed manner. And then, in this position, take that left leg and hover it in space. Toes externally rotated, lift and lower, lift and lower. So I want that leg just in line as it was before as you lift and lower. It's just the toes externally rotated. In other words, I want your legs very close together as you're going through this range of motion. To give you a visual of what I don't want would be this. So I don't want that leg out to the side. I want it straight in the center. But those toes are externally rotated. Now, you should be feeling your quadriceps, but perhaps you're feeling it a little bit more in the adductor area. That's the inner thigh muscle. So this is the same movement, but with those toes externally rotated, guys, we have invited the adductor muscles to this party. In fact, the adductor muscles are the star of this party. So really try to kick the work into that adductor muscle. You can do that with your mind-body connection. Feeling this quite a bit for 4. I'm seeing just feet moving on my screen. And 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. And again, notice how one leg feels totally different than the other. All right, and then we'll do that on the other side. So let's take that right leg. Hover it in space, toes externally rotated. Again, notice if you're getting all crunchy in that posture with the upper body, and if so, fix that. All right, and then lift and lower. Again, tiny range of motion. The smaller the range of motion, the slower you're moving, the more you will feel this. This kind of sneaks up on you, so perhaps you're not feeling it too much yet, although maybe you are, maybe you're not. At any rate, just keep doing it and you will feel it more to a greater degree. Woo! And you are, you guessed it, breathing. Oh, going for those strong inner thighs. Yep. And noticing how it feels. Notice too, how the head of the femur is rotated in the hip socket, and it's only the movement in one joint in your body, and that would be in your hip socket. So that's kind of interesting. Always fascinating to think about what the skeleton is doing as we're going through these ranges of motion. Woo! Feeling this quite a bit for 4, and 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Nice job. Okay. Next, we will bring the soles of the feet together, knees open wide, and gently just drop the knees over to one side, up and over to the other, just giving a little bit of a stretch in those inner thigh muscles, taking a little booty massage. If you think about it, this is kind of similar to Lady in a Park, because we're, the movement now is coming from the spinal area, sort of twisting from side to side, if you will. Again, similar to Lady in a Park. Okay, we're going to add on and switch exercises here. So keep your feet as they are, but lie your head back flat, lacing the fingertips behind the head. All right, so we're going to build up, and you can choose whatever version feels best for you. Maybe you'd like to keep your head flat, lift one foot, and then lower and the other foot, and continue. So maybe this is all you want. All right, if you want a little more, guys, perhaps you'd like to hold a crunch position with your head, neck, and torso as you're going through this range of motion. And then if you want a little more, perhaps you'd like to lift and lower those legs at the same time. And then finally, if you want more, as you lift those legs, maybe come higher into the crunch, bringing the knees to the elbows, lowering down and doing it again. So again, lots of different options. I'm going to stick with an earlier version of the exercise because that feels better for me today. Yeah. Loving it. Loving the variations. Loving how you guys are listening to your bodies. We all have different bodies with different challenges and different strengths. So loving the modifications and variations. Woo! For 5. Yeah. And regardless of which option you are choosing, I'm sure you are feeling it. And 4. Yeah. And 3, 2, and 1. Okay, guys, let's put both feet down. And again, just shimmy those knees from side to side. Lie your head flat. Feeling that really nice stretch in the shoulder area. We did quite a bit of shoulder work earlier. For 2 and 1. Okay, next, guys, let's bring those knees together and we will continue with the knees bent and the feet flat. Let's reach the arms down to the sides and we'll pivot those palms so they're facing up. So there's an interesting rotation in the shoulder socket right now. Okay, all right, and then from here, keeping the head down, take an inhale. As you exhale, let's lift those hips. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift, and continue. Now you can lift high if you wish. By the way, the feet are together. You can lift high if you wish, or you can have a smaller range of motion, whatever feels best for your body today. I'm feeling better with a smaller range of motion, so I'm going to stick with that. But I imagine some of your hips are quite high up towards the ceiling. So just enjoy whatever range of motion is good for you. Okay, optional, adding on. The next time those hips are lifted, pause. Let's hover all 10 toes. So that's different. It's the opposite of being on your tippy toes. In fact, you're pressing into your heels. Okay, lifting all 10 toes. Let's separate those toes as much as you can, and then tap your right toes down, lift and tap the left toes down and continue. So we're just getting some interesting movement in the feet and the ankle area, separating those toes a lot. Pretend like you had the most beautiful and expensive pedicure in the entire world and you do not want your toes to touch each other. Okay, so really trying to separate, fanning out those toes. Notice how you're feeling that little muscle between your ankle and your knee fire awake. By the way, if anyone is prone to shin splints, this is a terrific activity for you. Notice if your feet are becoming fatigued. Who knew you could fatigue your feet in an exercise? As I said that, I thought of paddleboarding where the feet get quite fatigued. But other than that, that's kind of an unusual situation to feel fatigue in the feet. And breathe for 4, unless maybe you're a dancer or something. And 3, whoo, feeling this quite a bit. And 2, and 1. Let's lower all 10 toes, lower the booty, kick those legs long in front of you, lace the fingertips behind the head, looking down over your toes, flex and point those feet. Oh, yep, and breathe. So going for ankle mobility, and then we're still stretching and working both the calves and the shin area. So lots going on here while you're holding that crunch with your head, neck, and torso, or not. So certainly keep the head flat if that's better for you. Woo! For 3, and 2, and 1. Lower that head, neck, and torso down. And then let's just windshield wiper those feet. You can keep your ankles stable so that this movement is coming more from the head of the femur and the hip socket. Or if it's better for you, you can just wag those ankles and those toes from side to side. Whatever feels good for you. I'm kind of enjoying the booty massage of having the movement come from the hip area. Actually, maybe it's a spine area because my hips are pretty still. Anyways, just to make this feel good. For 2, and 1, come to center. Okay, guys, next, reach over. Remember those dumbbells that we set near you? Go ahead and reach over and grab those dumbbells. Okay, we're going to come into a bridge sequence again, and this time we'll throw in some arms. So let's reach those arms into a goalpost position. So that means if you were looking from either your toes or your head, your arms would look like a goalpost, half of a square. Okay, from here, keeping the head down, navel tucked to the spine, Knees bent, feet flat, feet together. Take an inhale, exhale, lift those hips, arms up to the ceiling. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift, and continue. All right, we're going to add on and give options. So if you wish, guys, let's take that right leg, keeping the knees together, and straighten the right leg. So keeping the knees together, just lifting and lowering with that right leg straight, continuing with the chest press or the bench press situation. Woo! Feeling this quite a bit. Yep, feeling the booty, feeling the quads. Maybe you have a large range of motion as you're coming in and out of your bridge, or maybe you don't. Perhaps you'd like to lower and hover that booty above the mat or the ground instead of touch it. Oh, that will make it more challenging for the backside. Okay, next time the booty is lifted, pause. Then let's take that straight leg and lower and lift, lower and lift. We're just lifting to the point where the knees are together. And then add back in the arm movement to match. This might feel a little familiar. We did a very similar sequence lying flat on the ground. So again, we're targeting that quadriceps area. Woo! For 4 and 3. Wow. 2 and 1. Bend both knees, both feet flat, lower the booty, rest the arms, take a little step apart, and windshield wiper those knees from side to side. Love that. Feeling so good. All right. Making this count, guys, for 3 and 2 and 1. Okay. And we'll do that again. And you guessed it, we'll lift the left foot this time. So let's start by arms in goal pose. Head is down, knees bent, feet flat. Take an inhale, exhale, hover, lift the hips coming into a bridge as high as feels good for you. And then let's straighten that left leg out, knees together. All right, arms up to the ceiling, and then lower the hips and lift, lower and lift. By the way, if you want to look up on the screen and see what's going on, just keep your hips down while you do that. So while the hips are lifted, it is important to keep the head down. Woo! And breathe. And then maybe begin to lower the booty such that you are hovering above the ground instead of actually coming to the ground. So that's an option. It will kick more work into that right hamstring, that right booty cheek. Woo! And breathe. Are your chest presses getting sloppy? I feel like mine are. Trying to maintain that 90-degree angle as you lower. Woo! Okay, guys, next time you're lifted, stay lifted. And then we'll just take that left straight leg and lower and lift, lower and lift, just lifting to the point where those knees are together. And then as you lower, let's lower those elbows, reach and continue. Woo! Feeling this quite a bit. Going for that perky backside, those strong quadriceps. Feeling chest work. Woo! For 5. Breathing. And 4. Feeling this quite a bit. And 3. Woo! And 2. And 1. All right, guys, both feet flat. Lower the booty, rest the arms, and take a step apart. Windshield wiper those knees from side to side. For 2 and 1. Okay, set the dumbbells to the side, and then, guys, let's hug the knees into the chest. Wow, just hugging the knees into the chest. I'm feeling that fatigue in that backside. Okay, guys, from here, hugging the knees into the chest, perhaps coming to a crunch if that's agreeable for you. Kick that right leg along, all 10 fingertips around that left knee. Pull it towards you with an audible exhale, and switch, and switch. You can keep your head flat if that's better for you. Anything else is fine. Also, you can do something completely different. If you wish, any of the previous exercises are an option, or taking a rest, or anything else. All right, this is super classic, old school Pilates. right here. One of the original exercises from the mat sequence. Woo! For 4, yeah, loving the variations. And 3, and 2, and 1. Hug both knees into the chest. Rest your head, open those knees, rock from side to side. For 2, and 1, and come back to center. All right, bring those knees back together, come into a crunch position, and then guys, begin to roll forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards. I am going to omit this, but if it feels good for you, yeah, you guys look amazing. You're rolling so far forward that you're almost touching the ground with those toes, but not quite. And then you're tucking in that tummy so tight, you're rolling back. This is another classic Pilates exercise. Looking good, guys, for 3, and 2. All right, let's come all the way up, toes on the ground. Nice job. Okay, from here, guys, let's take those feet, pivot them to the left, and then bend both knees. Yeah, so I'm interested in a right angle with your legs. You've got your right shin in front of you. Okay, and then from here, guys, let's take your right hand down on the outside of your body. Take that left arm up and over, coming into a mermaid stretch. For 2, and 1, come back to center, placing the left hand on the ground on the left or on your thigh, just somewhere, and then reaching that right arm up and over. Coming back to center, placing the right hand down, left arm up. And then maybe this is all you want. If you want a little more, you can take that top hand, bring it down towards the ground by your right hand. And maybe this is all you want. If you want more, you can walk those hands out, maybe coming down towards your elbows if you have that range of motion. I do not, but I imagine some of you do. Just enjoying that stretch, that spinal rotation for 3, 2, and 1. Walk those hands back in, and then we'll balance that out, taking the left hand down, reaching that right arm up and over for 2, and 1. All right, let's come back to center. We'll bend both knees in front, both feet flat, and then we'll lie back onto the elbows. Elbows supporting us, one leg out, and switch, and switch, and switch. Hollowing out that belly. Navel is tucked to the spine. Again, really blasting out those lower abs, blasting out those quadriceps. We've worked out both of those quite a bit today. For 4, and 3, loving it, and 2, and 1. All right, let's press ourselves up to a seated position. Take both feet slightly over to the right, and then come back into that right angle with those legs. Yeah, looking good. This time we'll take that left hand down, reaching that right arm up and over. For 2, and 1, come back to center, placing the right hand down, left arm up and over. As I'm saying that, I'm still leaning to the left, but I get points for trying. For 2, and 1, and come to center. Placing the left hand down, right arm up and over. And then guys, this time, if you wish, you can take that top hand down and then maybe walk out. Wow, that's crazy. I have so much more mobility on this side. Maybe placing both elbows down. For 3, and 2, and 1, walking those hands back in, and then finally just we'll balance that out on the other side, taking that left arm up and over. Man, you guys, I feel like this class flew by. For 2, and 1. Yeah, I'm seeing those heads nodding. Okay, from here, guys, let's just come up onto the knees and then come all the way up to a standing position. So as I promised, we moved in every plane of motion. Let's swing those arms from side to side. We got strength training in, we got balance work, we got stretching, all the good stuff, targeting all areas of the body. For 2, and 1, come to center. And then guys, let's reach those arms overhead, drop those shoulders, curling those fingertips over, tuck the chin to the chest, roll down. Vertebrae by vertebrae. When you get to the bottom, nod your head, heck yes, I feel amazing. And then shake your head, no, no, no. Softness in the knees, head is heavy. Roll up, vertebrae. 5 vertebrae coming all the way up. And then, beautiful guys, bring those shoulders up, back and down, up, back and down. One more time, up, back and down, and walk into your day with your awesome posture. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me.